Two, one, and we're live.
All right, hello everybody. This is Dental Discourse. My name is Jon-Michael,
And Hector over here.
and today's topic is cosmetic dentistry.
Let's get into it.
All right, so I just want to say first off, like cosmetic dentistry, there's so many different things with cosmetic dentistry popping off today, and like to today's world, there's so many different things with social media influencing it. So let's just see where this goes. There's so many different things we could talk about.
I want to start off by saying that dentistry, even general dentistry, is cosmetic. If you fix a crown because you need an implant, you don't have a tooth anymore, you have it for the purposes of, having a tooth, but also it's cosmetic. You don't want a hole in your mouth.
Yeah, no, everything about dentistry is really has an art to it.
Yeah,
for sure. And every aspect is incorporating that dentist's like creative ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important when it comes to the aesthetic of a smile, because one little bump on like a fake tooth or something like that, or one little tilt,
throws everything off.
It throws everything off.
And especially on the bite, it's very important that it matches up with the
occlusal surface.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's why they have that little paper with the red and the blue side.
The parchment? No, not the parchment paper. The
what's it called? You guys know what we're talking about. They put it in your with like a little clip, and then they make you bite, grind your teeth.
It starts with a P. What is it?
With P? Isn't it like occlusion paper? Something like
That's
that.
what I thought it was too, but I thought it was something different.
All right, let's call it that for now.
Occlusion paper. Okay. Yeah, no, that's more for like your teeth grinding and stuff, because over time, if it's hitting the wrong spots, if it's not, most of your weight needs to be put onto your premolars and your molars. And if it's, in the front part, you could easily chip a tooth. Yeah. Even with like only a little bit of force coming down.
And that's one of those things that they do it for practical purposes, so that you can bite down comfortably. But also it's cosmetic, like the art that it takes for the dentist to know the anatomy of the teeth and turn a block of porcelain into a tooth. That's art right there.
Yeah, and it really comes down to the lab that the dentist used too, because
for sure.
Most of the time it's not even the actual dentist who does the tooth
lab technician
for things like porcelain, which we're going to get into more later. But first I really want to talk about the influence of the industry that social media has, because it is crazy right now how many people are getting their teeth done. It's purely because of social media and how that is affecting like the kind of work that's being done, because like today we're seeing so much more cosmetic work done than in the past. And I honestly think that it's because of you see everybody on social media, it's like all up in your face, every day. And most of these people, they got these big smiles on in their pictures. And the first thing you notice something wrong, it's like that one viral picture that was a few years ago. It was the person missing a tooth, and then they had like extra fingers and stuff, and they were like, "What do you notice first?" Oh. And then the more you look at the picture, so the first thing you notice is like a missing tooth, and then it's like, "Oh my God, this person has 6 fingers," and then it's like, this person actually had like 3 hands that you didn't even see at all, because you're just so fixated on their smile, and like that's what you notice first.
Yeah, your first impression is always a smile.
Yeah, so when it comes to social media, like that's just being thrown in your face, so that everybody's like, okay, well, if they don't like their smile, they're not gonna smile in their pictures. Right. So that's the first thing they want to fix. Especially
with famous people, or even now with social media, that you don't have to be a famous person or an actor to be seen by millions of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just famous on social media just because they're famous.
And they're famous because of their image. So they invest a lot of money into their image.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also that translates over into the business, because a lot of dentists offer free procedures for social media influencers for free.
Yeah, just because they're getting their work out to more people. And it's more of an advertising thing, more of an advertising strategy than anything.
But then it's not only the social media influencers that are promoting just cosmetic procedures, but it's the dentists themselves that have the social media influencers collaborate with them, and then the dentists on their page
Yeah.
Only promote cosmetic procedures, because who cares about like, wow, that was a nice root canal.
Mm-hmm. You don't see that part.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, the things that people are getting today, like the veneers and stuff like that, and just like fixing the aesthetic of the smile is really what people are fixated on. And you know, how many dentists do you see today that do purely cosmetic work? Like, a lot. You know?
Yeah, it's growing.
It's definitely growing.
A couple years back, that wasn't really the case, but
no, definitely not. And I just want to pause in this conversation because it was articulation paper that we were
articulation paper.
We couldn't think of the word. It was articulation paper for the record. Just wanted to say that.
Articulation paper, guys. The red and blue paper that they make you bite on.
And that's what you bite down on, and that's what shows you which parts are articulating with the like the top and the bottom lines.
Yeah. I'm never gonna forget that ever again.
Yeah, now we won't forget it. But back to, you know, the cosmetic work is really evolving to what a lot of people see as like dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the crazy thing is now, like, a lot of dentists claim to be cosmetic dentists, but there's no actual specialty in
cosmetology. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody can be a quote unquote cosmetic dentist.
Right.
But like, what kind of certifications do you need to be an actual cosmetic dentist? You know,
a general dentist is a cosmetic dentist. That's the funny part, because any cosmetic work that you want to get done, you can go to a general dentist and get it done.
Yeah, they could probably do it. But the thing with now is like veneers and stuff, they don't even teach that like
in school,
thoroughly in dental school.
That's more like post-grad education.
Yeah. A lot of people will go to CE classes on how to do veneers properly, because veneers, you know, if you mess that up, the bonding is like the most important part. So if you mess that up, these, like, you know, they're supposed to last a very long time, and if they're done right, they can last up to like almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But without the proper techniques, and there's so many different techniques that people teach on, like, what's, you know, there's no right way to do it. Obviously, there's like a guideline.
Yeah.
But, you know, it all depends on which route you want to take. But that is a very crucial part in how long they last and the quality of that. And there are a lot of CE courses that handle those things, and that any dentist can take. And I actually, over the summer, I was at a CE course for...
Up in New York?
Yeah, for veneers. And it was really cool. I got to see... So it was 2 phases that they do, but I got to see the second portion where they were putting in the actual veneers, because prior to that was
the prep.
Yeah, they do the prep and temporaries for a week. Right. And then they come back the second week and they put in the veneers, and that's what I was there for. And it was really, really awesome experience in New York City. I was there. It was a course offered by Dr. Appa and Dr. Larry Rosenthal. Those are the biggest cosmetic dentists
monsters
right now
in the game.
They absolutely changed the cosmetic dentistry game.
And it's crazy the impact that the cosmetic dentistry has, because Appa is a New York dentist.
Yeah.
And
people from all over the world go to see him. People from all over the country, you know, let alone all over the country, people from all over the world.
Yeah, I saw to get work done by an interview that he did, that he said some rich guy from Dubai called him over. Hey, I don't have any cosmetic dentists over here. I need you to come and do treatment on me.
And what, he paid for him to come out?
Yeah, he flew him out, everything. And then the guy told him, like, well, I like your work so much, like, I'm going to pay you for you to stay here. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, all of those guys, acquaintances and friends, also need cosmetic work.
Well, and now he's opening an office in Dubai.
Well, he has it in Dubai.
Opened the office, yes. And he's been going there. I follow him on Instagram. And,
no, me too.
He's like, you know, he's out there flexing and stuff. But he goes pretty much like I think at least once a month that he'll go over to his office over there. Yeah. And that's incredible. And now think about a multi-branch practice based solely off of cosmetics. Or not, I wouldn't say solely off of cosmetics, but about 90% of the work that he does.
I'm sure, like, he has to do minor...
Yeah, and he does a lot of celebrities' teeth. Mm-hmm. And just, you know, famous people in general, and they pay a lot of money to get that work done.
Yeah, they get taxed on that for sure.
Absolutely.
Being the people that they are. And now he's branching out to LA. Yeah. So those are major money markets that
he's tapping into all of it. And just because of his name alone now in the industry, like, he has like such a reputation. that, you know, he has his practice. He has three. Well, now it's like 3 practices, and he has his own cosmetic. No, I wouldn't say makeup, but like
makeup.
Like it's not makeup.
Okay.
Like, but it's like lip gloss and stuff like that.
Oh,
but he has
okay,
like a line of that kind of product.
Right.
And he, you know, he does do a bunch of CE courses, and he teaches like his techniques because, you know, everybody has
just
it,
because
like I was
it's
saying
APA.
before. Yeah.
You're gonna want to learn
It's
what
incredible.
APA does.
It's incredible that in itself is its own industry. Teaching that kind of stuff.
So
the
imagine
new
how many
technologies, like that is the industry. Like that is part of the industry today.
Yeah, like how many streams of revenue that guy has just from being who he is. He was able to establish into completely different markets like Dubai and LA. Yeah, there's rich, powerful people in both, but 2 very different cultures.
Absolutely different cultures.
And he
tapped into both of those.
And he's a person that he's not from any one of those 2 places.
Yeah, he's
from New York.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, he did start off in New York with Rosenthal, right?
Yeah, he came from NYU, graduated from NYU, was working with Rosenthal, and I believe he owns the practice over there.
But that's also something you see in the major cities like LA, Miami.
Well, yeah,
New York.
those big cities are where you're gonna find the most market for that kind of work.
Yeah,
because those are, you know, who lives in New York
about
City,
their image.
Who lives in LA, who lives in Dubai, people with a lot of money that have the luxury of being able to get the cosmetic work done. And that's you know, it's like a subsection of the dental industry, which is incredible.
Yeah. And going back to where you're saying that people are preferring or they're focusing more on just getting the cosmetic treatment done. And it's crazy because I know about some people that, you know, they need some restorative work, and rather than getting a restoration, they prefer to just take out their teeth and just get full implants in their whole mouth and not have to deal with their teeth and just have perfect teeth.
Yeah, there's people with money now that are 20-something years old. Their teeth aren't even fully set or you know, or anything, and they prefer, instead of going through ortho or anything else, they want veneers.
Yeah.
And a lot of doctors won't do that because you're putting a full set of veneers in somebody's mouth who's like young,
and you're shaving down their teeth.
Yeah, and that stuff you can't get back. Once you do the veneers, once they shave down the enamel,
permanent.
It's permanent. Yeah, you will never not be able to have veneers. Like,
yeah,
and it's like, you know, that's crazy, but
it's a big
reality.
Step.
Yeah,
it's like a big decision deciding to get veneers. It's like, all right, I'm giving up my teeth, and I want fake teeth in my mouth forever.
So for anybody listening, you know, we're talking a lot about veneers. If you don't know what veneers are, just the cliff notes on this is basically like they shave down the enamel of your teeth into like little stubs that are smaller, that have gaps in between, and then they make a porcelain tooth that's essentially hollow. It's like a crown that goes over the tooth, and they bond it, and they do that. They can do, you know, they can do one tooth, they can do your whole mouth. Like,
yeah,
most people, they at least get the front, like the front four. I've seen at least. But with that kind of work, there's so much freedom, because once you shave down the teeth, that tooth can look like anything, and as long as it fits in that spot, you have the full ability to create the tooth that you want. Yeah, and it completely changes people's smiles. People
go all out too. They'll get the crispy white, white out teeth.
Well, that's the thing. Like someone like Dr. Appa, who's like so experienced in these things, they won't do that. You know, they won't put in the white out shade like that's completely
unnatural.
White. Yeah, because that's not what you want when you get veneers. You want like a natural look, because nobody wants to say, yes, I have fake teeth.
Or they see you across the room and you're like, yeah, that guy has fake teeth. It's like the light is shining off the teeth into my eyes.
For most people, it's embarrassing to be like, for it to be that noticeable.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people, you know, like we said, that aren't really qualified to do this kind of work, and they do it, and they mess up somebody's smile because it looks so artificial. So it's really, you know, getting into this this industry, you should be very, very well versed in these kind of things, because if not, again, you're gonna make someone smile look completely artificial, and that's not your desired result ever.
And that goes back to what you were saying, how they don't really teach veneers in dental school, but it's more about like continued education. So you learn about this procedure through a lot of different perspectives, and they're not like certified professors in dentistry. It's a dentist offering his opinions and his way of doing things, which, you know, that's where you get people with these whiteout teeth or using like improper cement, people whose veneers are supposed to last from like 15 to 20 years. Then you have the cases where like within 5 years the veneers are unsticking to the teeth.
Yeah, and they're just falling out.
They have the gaps between the root of the veneers and the gums.
And I've actually heard about people that happening, and they get a cavity under the veneer. They don't even realize it until it's too late. And then what happens is they're gonna have to pull that tooth out, and
they have to get an implant. Yeah, after that,
basically they'll have to get an implant, and that's not fun
at all.
But you know, the work on that end, like putting it in, shaving it down, and doing and bonding and everything is so tedious, but it's so crucial to how it will come out. Not only immediately, but like 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. If you get good veneers done, they will last a long time.
Yeah. But with the cosmetic revolution, I think the dental schools eventually will catch on.
Yeah.
And then start implementing that into their coursework.
Yeah. And it might, like I said, it might even become like its own,
like a standard.
Yeah, like you know how like ortho is its own specialty.
Okay, yeah.
Or like periodontist is its own specialty. Like I think even in the future it can become its own specialty. Cosmetic work. Yeah. Because that is the future. And like today, you know, we're talking a lot about celebrities being able to afford that kind of stuff, but the just reality of today is a lot of everyday people are getting that done. And in the future, you know, as we are in a developed country, you know, we have that luxury to be able to be in a country like with enormous wealth just distributed, you know, like there's a pretty big distribution of the wealth in the United States.
But even in the United States, where, you know, the number one country in the world, where people have like the best quality of life, where poor people here compared to like the rest of the world are living pretty well off.
Yes, absolutely. And not to say that they don't, you know, go through their own struggles. They don't.
Of course.
But the reality is that a lot of people, even the middle class, is well better off in this country than in other countries. Yeah. And because of that reason, like people can afford things like veneers, which are, you know, can be pretty expensive.
And I've seen it starting to catch on in other countries too. I've started following dentists from like Spain and even Russia that are getting into the solely cosmetic world, where it's just they apply Botox, they do veneers,
that's implants. Another thing too. Botox. Who in a million years would have think that your dentist is giving you Botox?
Right. But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense, because the dentist administers anesthesia, and that's literally like anesthesia for your mouth.
Yeah. It's crazy because, you know, 10, 15 years ago, not only were people not getting things like veneers, but they were not going to the dentist and getting Botox. Like,
and lip fillers and all of that.
Yeah, lip fillers and everything. And, you know, because of famous people, you know, you have like someone like Kylie Jenner or like whoever, like that get completely reconstructed faces just off of Botox. And, you know, other dentists, I don't know about her, but like, I mean, other celebrities that will get their teeth done too, and that completely changes a smile. And when you notice something like that as a normal person, you're like, wow, like maybe I should get that done, especially if your teeth aren't what you want them to be. So there's so many celebrities. You can Google celebrity veneers
before and after,
and it is a crazy difference. But like people like Robert Downey Jr. Have you ever seen that picture? It's like he had it looked like stubs before you get veneers. Like that's what his teeth looked like. And it's incredible what they do. Completely change. And for a normal person, like the confidence behind that by getting a whole new set of teeth is incredibly changing your life.
Yeah. Like I have these two friends in LA. June and Chanel. They
Shout out.
shout out June and Chanel. We out there. Listen to June's music, signed to Akon. June Freedom. Well, I was telling him like, oh, when I graduate from dental school, you know, your veneers are on me, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we got veneers already.
No way. How old are they?
They're 32 around there.
Wow.
And
that's even young to get something like veneers. Like.
But the thing is, I'm like, damn, whoever you did your veneers did them very well. Because, and then I analyzed their smile. They had a perfect smile, but it looks completely natural. Yeah. The shading on it was, you know, not those whiteout smiles.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing with the shading is like, let's say you don't get your full mouth. Let's say you only get 4 or 5 teeth.
Yeah. You need to match.
If you don't get the right shade, those things will look completely like disproportionate to the rest of your mouth. And
you look like a clown.
Yeah. You got different shades. White teeth. There was a girl in our class. I don't know if you know her. I don't want to say her name, but that's she had very, very crooked teeth in the front of her mouth. Okay. And she ended up going to, forget what country it was, somewhere in the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Yeah, I guess she was from there, and she went to go get cosmetic work done because it was significantly cheaper. And that's like, when I just heard that, I was like, damn, that's kind of scary. But like, bro, look at her mouth. It's completely changed. And I'm 100% certain that she is like so satisfied with the way it came out. Oh, and it did come out pretty good. But like that alone just completely changes your life. Yeah. It's incredible. And like, who would have thought that this is where, you know, today that these things would be what's happening.
But like, I don't recommend, because it is obviously more expensive here than in other places of the world, but I wouldn't recommend going to like Colombia or Venezuela or places like that to get it done, because that's more of like where you see malpractice.
Absolutely.
And veneers falling off, and people even using like industrial cement for veneers.
Industrial cement, like construction cement.
Yeah, like I don't know if you heard on the news when women go over there to get like fat transfers for their butt, or you know, just to get an implant. They filled their butt with industrial cement.
Oh my god!
And it wasn't until like a couple months later that their butt started turning black.
Oh my god!
From the cement. That's so disgusting. I'm like, bro, how does that happen? But of course, there's no regulations over there. There's no laws. There's no FDA.
Yeah, well, they have like a completely different system when it comes to that stuff. In the summer, or not in the summer, in the spring, I went to DR and we did a service trip over there. It was affiliated with Nova, and it was a great service trip. But just talking with the dentists they were from there,
right?
And they were just talking about so like here, you know, we have to go through the 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of dental school, and over there it's 5 years. Total.
Including undergrad.
There is no undergrad. It's like you go to dental school for 5 years. They teach you, you know, maybe the first year you'll have classes like math and English and stuff, but it's specifically for dentistry.
I kind of think it should be like that here. Or even, not 5 years?
Yes, but no, because when you have 4 years specifically for dentistry, it's like you can gain so much more knowledge in that sense. It kind of sucks that, you know, we have to go through things like undergrad classes that are completely unrelated, but I mean some of these things are like essential just for everyday life,
right?
But when you have like, you know, that sounds in theory like a good idea, but the reality is that the quality of work that they do in these countries is not nearly,
for sure,
not nearly, and then maybe that has to do with the school and what they're teaching, because I definitely think if there were 5 years of straight dental school here done the right way, like it could be maybe even better than the traditional system that we have now of 4 years and 4 years.
I think it also has to do with the resources they have in the country, and just definitely. Like their healthcare system. Like people talk a lot of like crap about the health system here, but the reality is that it allows you to obtain higher quality health services, because over there, if you need anesthesia to get a tooth extracted, you have to pay out of pocket, go to a pharmacy, get the anesthesia, bring it to the dentist so he could administer it to you. Yeah.
So they don't even have it at the dental office?
No, it's like you have to buy your own medication.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is where?
In DR.
In DR?
In DR, I went when my little sister was a year old,
Mm-hmm.
and she had like major like diarrhea, vomiting. She got like a virus,
Yeah.
and then we went to a doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, I have like this shot I'm gonna give it to her and it's gonna cure her, whatever. He's like, I don't have that in the hospital. You guys have to go to the pharmacy like 2 miles down,
Wow.
buy it with American money, and then bring it over here, and then I could administer it to
I know
her.
this isn't a hospital.
Yeah.
But they didn't have it in the hospital, but they
No.
were selling it over the counter at the
Yeah.
top. Wow, that is
Mm-hmm.
wow.
And like in the Bahamas,
That's
it's
so
the same
strange.
thing. Medication is a lot cheaper,
Yeah.
but not for the people that live there. It's cheaper to us
Yeah, but for
that live in the U.S. And
we have a completely different economy,
to
so
our cost of living,
yeah.
it's cheap, but to theirs, it's even more expensive than would it be for us with health insurance.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so yeah, there was like a study that we saw that said that over 80% of the people getting dental work done was for cosmetic purposes, right?
Yeah, it was to improve their own self-esteem. That was 80% of the work being the cosmetic work being done. Like the reasoning was for their own like self-esteem.
So that goes
And
to show how
you know,
much
that goes back to what we were saying. That just like the self-esteem. I think that directly corresponds with the social media because when you have things like social media in your face all the time, it's like it seems like everybody's living these great lives, and everything. And if you don't live up to that standard, you think that like your life
You're
is
not
as
good enough.
as everybody else.
Yeah.
So what do? They have low self-esteem because of that. If I go on Instagram right now and I see people
Everyone
taking
has perfect
trips,
teeth.
everybody with this big beautiful smiles, I'm obviously not going to feel good about myself.
On your bed with a crooked smile, looking fat.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
So that's me on Instagram, and then I see that, like I'm not gonna be happy, obviously.
Yeah.
So what do? If they have the money and the resources to do it, is they fix their own smile, and the ethics behind that is really up to, I guess it's the a person to person basis on what you think is like right and not right
Right or wrong, yeah.
and also the dentist too, because there are a lot of cases where dentists will try to push that kind of work, and it's like either not essential or they're just trying to
Yeah, they're just selling it.
And it was actually, I did a paper last year for one of my classes, and I did it on cosmetic dentistry and like just the ethics behind it, because really what if someone who's solely a cosmetic dentist, they're playing off of the insecurity of people.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really when it comes down to it, that's what they're doing.
Especially in
So is
everything
that-
cosmetics.
Yeah, and is that ethical? Because as a dentist, you are like
health
the person,
professional.
you are like the expert in this subject.
Yeah.
So someone comes to you, what should I do? I don't like my smile. Oh, we'll just give you veneers. Well, that's like not only one of the most expensive options,
It's one of the most invasive
too. But if you don't know any better,
They're
obviously
like, yeah,
you're gonna listen to your
perfect.
dentist. Yeah, exactly.
Brand new teeth.
And they go through with it, and so it's like, is that ethical? And it's like, as a dentist, as future dentists like us,
Yeah.
we need to like address that question. And if you're going to be a dentist, you need to be like ethical about it. I'm like, if you have your practice, you don't want to be pushing every single patient for veneers. That's not right, because what you're doing is you're taking advantage of them for their money.
And I don't know. Like veneers is the biggest part, I think, of cosmetic dentistry, or at least the newest thing, the rave of cosmetic dentistry is veneers. But I personally, I would never get veneers. I wouldn't want veneers. Maybe I get a teeth whitening.
Yeah.
Or like.
I mean, you also have fairly good teeth.
Yeah.
For people who don't, you wouldn't be able to put yourself in someone's shoes who doesn't have good teeth and it's affecting their own self-esteem.
But I went through.
I'm sure for somebody who has like really bad teeth, that's
bro, my
probably,
teeth were jacked.
Well, yeah,
jacked
you went through ortho
up.
when you were younger.
I went through a long, rigorous orthodontic process.
That sucks. And
that's
what we were going. What we were talking about earlier. It's like people who don't want to do that, they're just like, okay, just give me veneers.
Yeah.
And if you have the money, like it's completely viable.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
Yeah.
But is that the right thing to do?
I mean,
It's really like a case to case basis,
Yeah.
you know, on what is like the right thing to do, and that's something up for the dentist to decide, or you know, and the individual obviously, because
Right.
they're ultimately the ones who decide. But you need, as a dentist, you have the moral obligation to guide them in the right path, I think.
And so what we were saying, how like veneers is the biggest thing now in cosmetic dentistry. It's funny how far it's come from when it started. Do you know what year it was that like Charles Pincus made veneers?
No, I don't. It was a long time ago. It was like 58 or something.
58?
I think it was 1958.
Damn.
And this guy,
Just recently, it's
this
been
guy named Charles Pincus.
Pincus.
And he created veneers for movies. He originally made acrylic veneers for an actor. In a
Acrylic,
movie.
huh?
It was made of acrylic. So, like,
Damn.
you know the stuff they make the fake
Yeah.
nails out of? That's what it was.
And so,
And they put it on temporarily. They used some kind of, like, denture binding compound.
yeah.
And they would put it on. They'd shoot. And then they'd pretty much come off because it was you
Yeah,
know,
like a
it's
temporary.
it was just a temporary bonding. So, as you know, it's funny how like that started as,
And it was called like the fake nails of dentistry.
yeah. Everybody thought it was a complete joke, because how can you put that, like, you know,
Yeah,
and
crazy glue teeth onto teeth.
yeah, it sounds in theory like absurd, but when it came as far as going from acrylic to now it's porcelain,
Yeah.
and they have even other materials that they make them out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. And like the durability of the veneers today compared to, you know, 10 years ago
Yeah.
is completely different. And they actually say, I read something that was like, veneers are actually in some cases more durable than your teeth, than the enamel of your teeth.
I'm sure. Because it's
porcelain. Like
yeah.
it's what your toilet's made out of. Toilets can break, but like I don't remember the last time.
Yeah, we need a lot of force.
Yeah.
Like you can break a tooth, I don't know, biting.
Well, yeah,
like
well,
a
your
peanut
jaw
or
is
something.
the strongest muscle in your body.
Really?
It's either the strongest or the second strongest.
Yeah.
It's like your jaw or your tongue or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's pretty easy to chip a tooth if it's
Super.
not done right, or like if it's like we were saying before, if the majority of your pressure is in the front of your mouth, you're gonna chip a tooth no problem.
Yeah.
And that's not only for like veneers, but that's like even in your own mouth. Naturally, if your teeth are not placed the right way.
And let's say you do chip your tooth at, you know, a veneer. You have a veneer and it gets chipped. I feel like it's less worrisome because you already shaved down your tooth.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about your real tooth anymore. So it's just, all right, I need to get my crown changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like more of like disposable.
Yeah, like if you break it, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not that bad. My aunt had veneers, and what happened is, on her incisor, it was
Right.
resting most of the pressure on the right side,
Okay.
and it broke multiple times before a dentist came in and was like, okay, obviously, you can't have the pressure there.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that I worked with over the summer, his name is Dr. Huzam, and he's a great dentist,
Yeah.
based in New York City. And he actually fixed her tooth and shifted it so that the majority of her pressure wasn't lying here on the incisor, because that's totally wrong. And when that messes up, that chips, and then when that chips, you know, it shifts the pressure onto another tooth,
Yeah.
and then that chips. You know, it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Everything in your mouth needs to be working properly, otherwise, you know, it's so easy to break.
Even just people who grind their teeth while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
That is
There's
terrible
so many
for the
cases
teeth.
of people grinding their teeth and breaking, you know, whether that's fake teeth or real teeth or whatever.
Guys, if you grind your teeth at night, get you some night guards.
Please get your Please do that.
Yeah. Recommended by a lot of people.
Definitely.
Night guards. That also will help with snoring too. It'll adjust your bite. Because a lot of times people snore because the way they're closing their mouth doesn't let their esophagus,
Yeah.
or I mean their epiglottis, like rest correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having a hard time breathing.
I snore pretty bad.
Yeah. Should probably get you a night guard.
You know, back more to what we were talking earlier about the cosmetic dentistry and how people, a lot of people aren't qualified to do the work, but they do it anyways.
Yeah.
It was also something I wrote about in my paper last year, that it was like 60% of the people who get cosmetic work done is fixing it from somebody else's work that was messed up. So someone actually did the work,
Yeah.
and then didn't do it right. So something, whether it chipped, fell out, or whatever, and somebody had to, go ahead and fix that. So that is 60% of the cosmetic work being done is restorative from malpractice.
Because they're so concerned about just, all right, let me stick the veneers onto this person's mouth, make my coin. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore about you.
And I don't even think that's the majority of it. I don't think that it's that people are like conning in a sense. I just think that they don't know how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, they think they know how to do it properly, but then, the veneers are lasting less than 5 years.
And things like that, like what happened to your aunt, that you have pressure being applied on the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
They should have probably checked that, right, before implanting a tooth.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Making sure, okay, how does the bite go? Is the pressure being applied correctly? Because if it broke more than one time, like thankfully that other dentist was able to find out what was happening.
Dr. Huzam, he's the man.
Dr. Huzam.
Yo, in his office, the guy who he did artwork for the Olympics. Let me pull it up real quick to show you, because his office has like crazy art everywhere. And the Cause dolls?
No.
You don't know what Cause is? They have these dolls. It kind of looks like Elmo a little bit. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. But.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
Incredible though. His artwork is insane, and it just completely changes the aesthetic of your office. Like having that kind of stuff hang up.
Some crazy artwork.
Colorful, vibrant, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out Empire Dental Aesthetic, New York City. It was a great experience. I worked with him over the summer. It was awesome.
Nice.
Got to see some really cool stuff too.
And also, like Dr. Rubenstein's office, they call him Dr. Snapchat.
Really?
He's a cosmetic dentist, and he's done like a lot of influencers. Like, what's this guy's name that he did that song with Drake? Well, he did the video.
Cole Bennett?
No.
He's the video guy.
That he made the dance. My bad.
Oh,
Kiki.
Yeah.
Do you love
Was
me?
it Shiggy?
Shiggy, yeah. And he makes like little bits with them and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like multiple ones?
Yeah.
See, and that's like the way that the culture is really shifting. Like people like him, who are like, bringing in pop culture, bringing in people who are like big artists. Didn't he do, Fat Boy?
Yeah.
I met him. You know that?
Really?
I met Fat Boy.
Damn.
Shout out to Fat Boy.
Fat Boy.
He gave me backstage concerts to a Hot 97 concert. It was the craziest day of my life. The night that Young Thug cursed me out. We don't want to get into that. But it was a really awesome experience.
Getting cursed out by Young Thug? That's on the next podcast.
Next podcast, I'll explain that.
Yeah, but what I was saying about like his practice, he has one of his patients is a New York-based artist, and I don't know if she sells or gives him the artwork, but he has her artwork all over his office. And it's crazy. He has like a 007 in just like a bunch of different colors. And then he even has a photo studio in his office to take pictures of his patients, like once the process is finished. And I think that's dope. But especially to what we were talking about, that people get most of the cosmetic work for their self-esteem. That really boosts your self-esteem. Imagine you're going through this process of reconstructing your mouth, and then you have a photo shoot at the end with lighting and a background and everything, and you feel like the shit.
That's what a lot of people who are doing cosmetic work now are incorporating, the real, like, showing the patient, instead of saying, because in the past it was all the dentist just being trusted. You're gonna like, okay, I need to do this, so I'm gonna do this. Now it's more, I'm gonna show you, this is what's wrong with your mouth, and this is how I can fix it. And then, like, they're showing every step of the process, really ensures the trust between the patient and the dentist, and it changes the game.
And especially with technology now, they could even show you what your smile is gonna look like at the end before you even get it done.
So this is the guy. He's from Puerto Rico. This is I was talking about the guy who did the artwork for Doctor Who's on
Sandro
office.
Figueroa.
Yeah.
Cool.
You ever seen his work before? I'm sure you've seen it before.
But he's from New York. Like, he's Puerto Rican, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And he did artwork for the Olympics or something like that.
Damn.
And he's got huge things in his office, in Dr. Who's office. And
yeah.
It's like that's what the industry is going towards. It's just like the whole aesthetic. It's crazy.
But it's all like the that pop art feel.
Yeah. Really cool though. I have to say that.
Yeah, man. When I get my office, I want it artsy like that too. Just fun, you know. Because every other general dentist office is like, you know, just
bleak.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You know, like I said, 10 years ago, your office, every single office, I'm sure did not have anything interesting in terms of artwork or anything like that.
Right.
And then, you know, you get to now, it's like incredible how much artwork they have, and that, you know, that has nothing to do with the dentistry itself, but it has everything to do with the dentistry.
It's the whole vibe.
It's just like, you know, changing your patient experience. So now when people go to that office, they're gonna think, oh, I have to go sit in that, you know, that bleak waiting room.
Yeah. Bored.
Yeah, no, it's completely different now. You know, who you have at the front desk, you have like some vibrant, bubbly personality. Yeah. You have, you know, every step of the way, it's like something you need to be unique, and that's what's changing the industry. Yeah. And that's what's changing it more to these cosmetic work, and just the upscale feeling of like, I'm not going to the dentist, like I am like making a change for myself. Yeah.
Because I remember dentists being like the most feared doctors.
And they still, I mean, a large part of it, they still are.
Yeah. But with the social media now, they're trying to like revolutionize dentistry and make it more fun. Like, hey, look at all of these cool people that you see on social media. Yeah. They come here and have a lot of fun with me, the dentist.
Yeah, and you can too.
Exactly.
And it's all about, you know, the mindset.
And the whole experience from the minute you get to the practice, you feel like you're at a spa in a 5-star hotel.
And that's a big thing, is that they try to make you feel like you're in, you know, in this luxury place. Yeah. And that's what changes your experience. In turn, you know, it's not, I'm going to the dentist. Right. You know, the dentist I worked with has TVs on the ceiling. So when you're in the chair, you have your headphones in and you're watching TV. You can watch Netflix or anything. Damn. It's crazy.
That's pretty creative.
Yeah, and small things like that change someone's experience so drastically to where they're like, I'm not going to the dentist. I'm going to see somebody that I'm friends with that is going to take care of my teeth.
And a very important thing is being able to establish that patient relationship, not just like doctor-patient, but have them feel like it's more of like a friend relationship.
Absolutely.
Make them feel comfortable, because it's pretty scary. Whenever you go to any other dentist, you're put to sleep. You don't know what they're doing to you. But when you go to the dentist, you're awake most of the time.
Cosmetic dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine like veneers are shaving down your teeth. That's, if you do that without anesthesia, that's probably so painful.
Well, the thing is, if you do it the right way and you don't go into the dentin, then it's absolutely painless. You feel the pressure on your teeth, right? But a lot of, you know, if you don't do it right, you go too deep or whatever, it's gonna hurt. Yeah. But when you shave down the enamel, it has no nerves in there. Yeah. So that stuff can be done, and it's like way less invasive than previous practices. Right. So if you're qualified to do things like that, if you are well versed and knowledgeable about these things, like it's easy to do to make the patient feel good about it too, and to make them feel comfortable. Yeah. Just one last thing before we wrap this up.
What's good?
I want to talk about like influencers and how they're really like getting this work for free a lot of the time. You know, we touched on it briefly before, but like, you know, it's a lot of people nowadays who are, if they're famous on social media for whatever reason, they're being utilized by people like dentists. Yeah. And it's not even just dentists. It's really in everything.
Anything. Influencers get so many things for free.
Yeah.
It's like they don't got to pay for clothes. They don't pay for food.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, hey, I'll go to your restaurant. I'll take a picture in your restaurant, and if you let me for free.
Story, they tag them, and it's like that's advertisement that they're getting. Like they're getting free things.
They travel somewhere. Oh, I want to go to LA now. They get in contact with the hotel. Be like, hey, if I can stay in your hotel for a 3-night stay, I'll do. You don't have to pay me for my post, but I'll post.
Yeah.
I'll post 4 times within 3 days.
Yeah, and then they get okay, and then they do it. Now, I just want to ask you, who do you think wins more in these situations? Let's say, like, for specifically with a dentist and an influencer, who wins?
Well, I think it's on. It all depends on how the dentist goes about it, because that's obviously a good thing. Yeah, because you need promotion.
It's advertising, like we said.
It's advertisement. But if it gets to the point where you don't have any real patients of your own and you're relying on social media influencers to bring you patients, you need to really make sure those people have loyal followers.
And real followers.
And real followers, not just a number.
Yeah, nowadays you can have 20,000 plus followers and get 100 likes on your picture.
Yeah,
and that's
because
like,
you bought them.
Do you really have 20,000 followers? Whether they're fake or whether, like, you know, they have this new Instagram algorithm that, like, they don't, you know, half the people you follow you don't even see their posts.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, they push these posts that are from big companies. It's like advertising and everything. But when it comes down to it, it's like, you know, that's really a question. Is there a right answer to this? Probably not, but, like, who wins in those situations? I think both people are benefiting, but, like, it comes down to, like,
the dentist has more to win. Obviously, the influencer only has one set of teeth to fix. Yeah. They get it fixed. They're set.
And they're done.
But I guess if you would be talking in regards of the money, the money that the dentist would be losing by giving that person free treatment should be multiplied, like, times a lot. Yeah. With just the publicity, like, for example, that guy, Dr. Rubenstein, he's blown up after I discovered his Instagram page like a year and a half ago. His following has gone up so much, and not just in numbers, but in recognition as well.
Yeah, and engagement too, probably.
You know Dr. Miami? Yeah. So Dr. Rubenstein has
explain to our listeners who Dr. Miami is.
Okay, so Dr. Miami is a cosmetic surgeon. Yeah. Based in Miami, who on Snapchat, he'll record the procedures he's doing and show you on Snapchat or Instagram him doing implants, like butt implants or liposuctions or whatever. And then they call them Dr. Miami. And then Dr. Rubenstein's called like Dr. Snapchat. Yeah. And then I think occasionally, Dr. Rubenstein comes down to Miami to work. Really? He works, in New York and in Miami. And I saw him go to Dr. Miami's office. And they did like a whole video bit of them together. Now, I wish I could show it to you. I have to find it. Yeah. But it was mad funny, yeah. And then I think Dr. Miami gets his dental work done with Dr. Snapchat. Yeah. So it's just like it all feeds back into each other. And now
and they definitely, from doing things like that, they both benefit off the exposure, just the exposure that they get
now they don't need
to each other's followings.
Like, they don't need a middleman that's a social media influencer. It's doctor to doctor promotion. Yeah. And they definitely both gain from things like that. Yeah, for sure.
Nobody loses with that.
And it establishes like recognition within like the health profession. It's like, okay, damn, this super famous surgeon recognizes you, a dentist, as like obviously of the same caliber as him, if he's, putting you on his platform. So let's say you don't know anything about that dentist, but you know who Dr. Miami is. You're like, damn, this guy's probably just as good at what Dr. Miami does in surgery but in dentistry.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if someone famous goes to this doctor or this dentist, it's like, okay, if they trust them, you know, you feel like you could trust them too because of the reputation behind these people.
But I feel like that's even better promotion than just a social media influencer because
absolutely
exactly the reputation and the what's the word I'm looking for, like the trust,
credentials.
The credential that it gives you, like it's a doctor. When a doctor certifies something or puts his name on something, it's more credible.
Yeah.
Than when just, I'm doing this because I got free dental work.
Yeah.
So I'm here.
And I think today a lot of people are realizing. I don't think, like when this stuff first came out, I don't think the people realized that it was pretty much solely advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, people see somebody that they go to this place, they tag them. Okay, this is probably a promotion.
Yeah.
And I think actually that it's like a law now that people who are on Instagram, if they're getting paid or if they're getting a service from doing a post, like a paid, like a endorsement, they need to clarify that somewhere.
Like paid post?
It's like it has to be like hashtag ad or like hashtag paid post or something like that. And that's like, that probably hurts the industry because it's just like, okay,
it doesn't look organic.
Yeah. Before, people were making it look organic and, you know, implementing it into their feed, but now it's like you have to make it known.
Yeah.
Even I've seen they make it like this big, really small in the corner of the picture, hashtag ad. It's like,
that's crazy. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't do it still.
No, but it'll probably be a thing, like, you know, as time goes by and they
people who are really big, they have to do it, and I've seen it. Because if they don't do it, they get reported, absolutely. But people who are a little bit smaller, they probably have more leniency with that.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I think people are starting to realize that those things are advertisements, you know.
Yeah, and that for sure is going to work against them. And I think it'll, because like with the whole social media game, doctors have caught on too and became influencers themselves.
Yeah, of influencing and promoting themselves.
Yeah.
You know, when would you think that a doctor
had an Instagram page
or you know, even a dentist is famous on Instagram?
Right.
It's crazy to think about. And it's like, are they famous because of their work, or are they famous because they know how to navigate that field?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like people who are first into like new social medias, they're always like the people who benefit from it most because they have the most time to like blow up off of it.
Yeah.
So I've even heard like you guys probably know like TikTok. I don't like TikTok personally, but there's so many people that are getting into it and making like, you know, people who are big because that could be the next thing. Right. And it's like first mover advantage. I saw a video, like, you know who Gary Vee is? Gary Vee. He's like the entrepreneur. He's got a really annoying voice. He's
is that
small,
that guy?
He's got a big head.
Yeah.
Okay, so like he talks really fast. Like, yeah, him. So he talks about this thing that's called first mover advantage because people, like platforms like that will blow up like that. Mm-hmm. And the first people to get on there are the first people who are getting seen. Right. First people getting followed. First people who get famous. That's like, you remember Vine? Yeah. So many people got famous off of Vine and then they weren't able to transition into another thing and they fell off. Yeah. But then there are people who are like, you know, King Bach or King Batch. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah. Then they got like famous on Twitter and
and now he's huge on Instagram. He's starring in movies and everything. It's because he was successfully able to transition.
I saw him on like, even this guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Chiclet?
Yeah.
I saw him and that same guy, King Bach, on a Nike commercial on Twitter the other day. Yeah. I was watching, I'm like, oh, I just thought it was a video that he did with Melanie, his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And then I see Anuel. I see this King Bach. I think Fat Boy is in it too. Everybody. I'm like, bro, this is the craziest Nike commercial ever.
Yeah, Chiclet got his teeth done too. By
Dr. Rubenstein. Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, everybody is
like all interconnected. Like,
yeah, it's just like a whole big circle, like, of everybody getting that kind of work done. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you know, bringing it full circle. And it's perpetuating people like him who take advantage of those kinds of things. And he definitely, like, he obviously does good work because you can see the quality of the work in the people that he does it to. Yeah. But when you get that exposure through those kind of people, like, that is, it can exponentially grow your business.
But it's for sure what you were talking about. It's not even your work. Obviously, your work speaks for itself. If you do good work or you do bad work, people are gonna see it and make their own judgments off of it. But
especially when it comes to something personal like cosmetic.
Exactly. But like Dr. Rubenstein, in his office, I think it's called like Benhurst Dental Practice.
Benson Hirsch, or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. He works with 2 of his other siblings that are also dentists, but he's the youngest one. So obviously he has the most experience in social media. He's the most savvy, and he's the one that's been able to take advantage of it the most and blow their practice up into what it's become.
Into what it is today, yeah. Because he navigated that successfully.
Yeah. And it's like you would think the practice is just his, but he's working with 2 other dentists that are his brothers. Mm-hmm. I think it's his brother and his sister, and they had been doing it a long time before him. Mm-hmm. But then because he knew how to navigate.
Yeah, he knew how to navigate that. And he was definitely probably one of the first dentists to really take advantage of that. Yeah. And it shows because how big he is now in that field.
Like there's also this dentist, I think his Dr. Amir Wab. He's Kim Kardashian's dentist. Mm-hmm. And he's famous obviously because he's like Kim Kardashian's dentist, Kylie Jenner. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have like the interaction with his followers that,
in the way that Rubenstein does.
Yeah, he has so many people commenting and his patients commenting too. Like, oh hey doctor, I'm going on Tuesday. I can't wait to see you. And then he'll respond like, yeah, I got you. Like, yeah, Tuesday I'll see you. I'll be there. Things like that. But
he doesn't have the social media interaction. Like,
yeah, the other guy. Yeah.
But the thing is, you could still be successful without that social media.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how dentists have been doing it.
Solely his work speaking for itself.
Of course.
And that's what's incredible. I think that's, it's good to be able to take advantage of the social media. And if you are good enough to back up your work is backing up your claims and your front that you're putting on for social media, then it's fine. But if you can't, then it's like, that's a big problem in itself. Yeah,
for sure. And I don't know, maybe it's more gratifying if your work is coming from just referrals of like the quality of your work rather than just because you pay for promo. Mm-hmm. It's like people are really coming to me because they saw what I do and they love what I do, how I do it. Mm-hmm. And they came to me because of that.
Yeah, and the thing is today, it's like who is more prevalent? The people who do their real work and then like are very good at what they do, or the people who put themselves in the spotlight? And they might not be as good, but because they're in the spotlight, that's what they have the reputation for. And it's like, it's a kind of like who is more ahead.
But I think still for the most part, it's the traditional way. Yeah. The dentist, just the quality of their work speaking for itself.
And that's what it should be, really. Because, when it comes down to all the extra stuff, like when you take that away, it's like who is the better dentist? Who has the skills to treat the patient the best and to give them the best service.
It's just like everything else in social media. It's like most of the things that you see, it's always like the loud minority. Yeah, that's what's being portrayed to the world. But in reality, it's most of the dentists are still doing it the traditional way dentists have done it their whole life. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's all about perspective.
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting. How much dentistry has changed, but also where it will go in the future.
Yeah. All right. I think on that note, we'll wrap it up.
We're going to wrap this up. One last thing, very short before we go. Like we said last episode, we started a website. It's called thebettertoothbrush.com, and we're raising money for charity. It's Give Back a Smile. Give Back a Smile Foundation, where they provide dental work for
victims of domestic abuse who have received dental injuries. There's been a lot of money already given to that program, and thanks to that program, they've been able to help over 1,600 victims
of domestic abuse and be able to give them dental restorative work, which is so important to people like that. We need to help people like that. Yeah, we thought it was such a great foundation that we started this website. It's called thebettertoothbrush.com. Check it out, and all of our proceeds go to this company, this foundation, Give a Smile Back. We think it's such an amazing program, and we are so here for it. So if you get a chance, we sell bamboo toothbrushes,
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly. They
Make
eliminate
sure you don't
plastic
get
waste.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And
also, we have the toothbrush water flosser.
yeah,
You guys should check that out. There's a video on the website. Very cool. I think the coolest toothbrush you'll ever see. I think it's cooler than
ever.
battery-powered toothbrushes. All they do is just move without you having to move it, but they don't have a water flosser. You can
So
change the tips on it.
I want to take a second. Let me explain this because I think this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Everybody knows what a water flosser is. I think nowadays everybody should know what a water flosser is.
Most people know what a toothbrush is too.
They should. I hope you know what a toothbrush is.
Oh my god.
But a lot of people know what a water flosser is. It eliminates the need for traditional floss, which is so painful to do. I get bleeding gums when I use regular
Me
floss.
too.
I hate it. So I switched over to a water flosser, and then we ended up finding this product. It is a water flosser with 0 tank, and everybody who has a water flosser, I can guarantee they hate this big bulky tank that takes up room on your counter. You have to plug it in. It's super loud. You got to fill it up when it's done.
Yeah.
This product eliminates that completely. So it's a toothbrush with a hose attachment that goes directly to your sink.
And those tanks never allow you to put enough water for you to be able to completely clean your mouth.
Yeah. But this product, you hook it up directly to the sink when you're ready for it, and then you just disconnect it. It literally will pop right off when it's done. And then you put it to the side. You could use it every single day. I think it's so convenient. And I just really want to push that fact that it is so convenient to use.
And the toothbrush itself has controls. So you can turn off the water or turn it on through the toothbrush. You wouldn't have to even touch the faucet.
Yeah. And like we said, 100% of the proceeds from our website goes to Give Back a Smile Foundation. And I think we should leave it off on that.
Yeah, just check it out, guys.
Check it out. thebettertoothbrush.com. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next episode.
For sure.